This video is going to be showing you how to play Tony Hawk. Now, I've made a lot of different tutorials about specific things in Tony Hawk, but this video is for the general subject. First thing I want you to do is get THUGPro, which is a mod of Tony Hawk's Underground 2 for PC. A lot of the other Tony Hawk games will work for this as well, but I'm just saying this is just mainly going to be focused around that game. If you're using keyboard or controller, once you have those set up, I want you to go ahead and go to options and go to controls and set up however you want. There's different things for air, for on ground, when you're walking and stuff like that. I want you to mess with these to see which ones are best for you, but for me, the things I recommend is turning off 180 spin taps, spin lag. I personally don't like boned ollie. I don't like having freakouts or graffiti tags. I like to only have wall plants, and these are what I use for walking. You can mess around with the HUD as well if you want something different, but this is one thing that I want you to do. If you are one person that uses a lot of sheets, please turn them off. They're fun, but most of the time you're not going to be advancing your skill or getting better at the game if you're just using moon gravity and perfect balance, especially not perfect balance. If you want like super blood, okay, but go ahead and turn them all off. Now, the first actual thing I want you to do is start to learn how to use your controller or keyboard and learning what does what. Learning how to do flip tricks, grabs, grinds, and manuals. And also one of the most useful tools I use, and pretty much everybody uses when it comes to this game, is Wallrides. Wallrides do so much for you, and I recommend using those and learning how to string these tricks all together for combos. So this is a great level to learn how to do things together. Learn how to grind, then jump and do a flip trick and manual, and then go back into a grind, flip trick, manual. Just a lot of these things. You can stay into the wall ride for quite a bit, actually, so don't be afraid to just let it hold. But be aware, wall rides have their own like physics, and like if you just go right up to it pretty much at like a very like almost a straight angle, you immediately get shot up. If you go from this just right from the side and you just hold it, it just stays on the wall for quite a bit, and sometimes that happens. But the main thing is learning how to string things together. And also, if you go up a ramp, make sure to do some grab and then press RT, R2, keypad 9 to do a revert, and that will continue your combo if you go back into a manual. Another big useful thing is getting off your board. There's a little timer, and beware about that timer because it continues where it left off, so use it sparingly, but also it's a good tool. Once you get a hang of controlling yourself with manuals and grinds and all of that, I want you to try to learn some tech. Whether you're going for score or trying to make yourself look good, it's useful in a lot of cases. Some of the most useful tech is, first of all, Buttslaps, which you just saw I went launching to the moon. So this is the normal jump height. You go up to the roof. Once you do Buttslap, you go all the way across that. You go super high and super far. The way to do this trick is you want to, first of all, once you go off a ramp or a ledge, you'll be able to flip trick. Once you flip trick, I want you to ollie. So it's riding off of a ledge and then doing a flip trick and ollie right after each other. You spam ollie, and that's how you go high. Now, this isn't the greatest map for this, but I want you to learn how to do grind shuffles. You spam, you see shuffle bonus on the left. Oh, actually you don't. My controller display is covering it, but there's a little blue bonus thing that's there. When you're holding Y or triangle, you want to hold that and spam going left and right and spamming ollie as well, because that will go and do a bonus. That not only does a lot of points for you, but it also adds a lot of speed, so you can go a lot of places pretty fastly. Sometimes I mess it up. Actually, a lot of the times I mess it up. You can use this in a lot of different cases. It doesn't just have to be for speed. It can be for looking cool. Another good piece of tech that I know is, I think it's called Cub and Drift. I might be wrong about that name, but so you go on and off your board. So it allows you to jump to the left or the right, and you can do that in multiple successions to go pretty far. If you jump, you press left, you won't go to the left. So the way to do that is getting off your board, holding left, and then getting right back on. Same thing with going to the right. If you're going off a high building, it's a very useful trick for when you're trying to land onto a rail. Now, this one's a lot more hard, but this one is a BHRA. BHRA is a bunny hop reverse air. It's used to jump around and get to high places. I can just immediately go like 2 stories. I don't even know if that's 2 stories. I'm just saying something that might sound cool, but that is something that you can do, and it's very difficult to for someone that's learning the game. So I don't recommend it right away, but if you have gotten those other things down pretty fast, or just you're consistent at those, I would recommend this. So the way to do this is jump and hold jump again. Once you do that, right when you're about to land, you revert and let go of X at the same time, X or A, whichever button it is for you. You'll pivot, and so your character will rotate in that way with arms up while you're in air. You see a little thing where the animation stops and you just prop over. Once that happens, you can do a butt slap on air. Yeah, that's a good way to get up to places. I like to combine it with a boneless as well, so I get even more height and a lot more time to be able to do the butt slap, because sometimes I mess it up. It is a lot of fun to do that one. This is the map that I learned it on, and I think it's a really good map because it's just a straight road. Now, the last tech I want to show you is called Boostplants. Boom! I'm all the way up, all the way to the sky. It's the trick that gives you so much airtime, and there's two ways to do it. So the way to do this trick, first of all, it's a lot easier on keyboard and mouse. Well, there's no mouse, but you know. When you're going into a wall ride, you do a grab at the same time. So you will get into a little thing where you're sideways while also doing a grab like that. And once you get into that position, you will immediately spam up and A, up and X, because that will give you so many of the Wally plants. It'll just give you a lot. And you just saw a different version. This one is called the THPS4. The other one I showed you was an underground boost plant. Instead of doing a grab, you hold triangle at first, but then you also spam up and A to do the Wally plants before you get on the wall, so it adds them up into one big launch. And this one is the way I usually do on controller. This one I find the easiest, and it's the fastest as well, so I use it a lot. Those are some of the best tricks that I know. Now, another tip I really believe would help you is going to different maps. Just, you know, I think that I'm all right at this map at Los Angeles, but another map that I'm not that great at might be Carnival. I don't really go to Carnival. First of all, I don't like this map, but it's also another map that I could learn stuff on. There's different grinds, there's a whole roller coaster with different stuff. Also, another thing that you might want to do is an acid drop or spine transfer. That is the same button from Revert. For you, it might contain you doing both triggers. It allows you to go over a wall if there's another quarter pipe on the other side or a half pipe. Another thing you might want to do is at some point you might want to edit your tricks, whether it's flip tricks. One thing I do not like to do a lot of the time is it's usually set to up X is sow flip. It always messes me up. Same with another trick is ollie north, but I've gotten used to this trick and I know how to use it now. There's those tricks and sometimes different tricks like sack tap is another one that I don't like, and those really mess me up. So you might want to change your tricks because maybe those are messing you up. You might want to also add different special tricks. There's so many different tricks. Specific ones give you a lot of points and different ones don't, but also some of them are like a lot more difficult, like the 900, the one trick that everybody knows because Tony Hawk did it for the X Games event. With this, it takes a lot of time to do. I'm actually surprised that that landed. Maybe you don't like that trick because it takes a lot of time to complete, but it also gives a lot of points. So there's a lot of different things, like if you don't want to do points, you might not want that trick because it's very difficult of a trick because it takes a lot of time before it completes. I am just giving you these few points because when starting to play THUGPro, there were no really good tutorials. There was a lot of people trying to explain things over text, but it's very difficult when you don't have a visual, which is why I like to use controller display and also explain it in a bit more detail. This is a bit of a rough idea for some of the tech that I showed you. So I have a lot more tutorials that you can check up over wherever, down here, wherever I'm pointing, that's where it might be. But yeah, there's a lot more tutorials. Go check them out if you need those. And yeah, that's about it. My name is Vex, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay goated!